Good everyone, Mazes okay here. Today is Sunday, the 14th of April 2019. I've just seen a clip now of Nigerian ambassador to the United States of America, in an event in the United States with MFL, the CBN governor. This guy, our ambassador, is 84 years old. 84. 84. Appointed by Buhari. 84. Appointed by Buhari to take over the to oversee the most strategic diplomatic mission Nigeria has, the United States of America. This man is working on a stake, or basically with walking stick. I have no issues if he works with a walking stick, if he has an accident or anything happen. But an 84-year-old, the most powerful relationship we have with the United States, and you appoint someone who is 84 to man that, where, honestly, sometimes I think Nigeria probably will never be better. Because how can, in this day and age, how can we get people who are supposed to be playing or even just sit down, allow their great-grandchildren, give them water, give them the remote TV, or, having a nap, to run a very hectic... I am honestly short of words. I am honestly short of words. Just watch the, down here, you can see the video, and I'll let that play as well. How can we, a nation, every other country is leaving you behind? We have people, let me not say people in their 30s, because this is a diplomatic mission. It's not meant for the inexperienced. But we have people in their 50s who can do 3 million better job. Why do we have to get someone almost at the grave site to come and man this diplomatic mission? It has nothing to do with ethnicity, by the way. This guy is from Imo State. I'm from Anambra State. But for Christ's sake, if it was my father, I would tell him, go to the village and sit down and get nurses to take care of you. How can you run a diplomatic mission at that age? I am visibly not happy even with the appointment, but does Buhari not know his age? Does Buhari not see him walk that way? Being held? How do you run? How can he stand the rigor? Normally, a working hour is 8 hours, but for such missions, we will need men, women, whoever it is that is able to run at least 12 hours. This is a serious business. This is nothing poo-poo or anything. This is a serious business, for Christ's sake. And we get someone who is at the verge of, or who is rather at the departure hall to come and man a diplomatic mission like that. And we want to be among the nations to be taken serious. So these are things when we see them, and we I basically begin to agree with those that say, who do us serve? Who do us? Who do us these things? We can't continue this way. This is absolutely madness. This is insane. This is sanity. A diplomatic mission. It's not even, somewhere. If it's something like Mali or, some uninteresting or irrelevant countries. United States of America, Germany, United Kingdom, Japan, Spain. There are countries that you have China, countries that you have relationship with, countries that you take serious, countries that take you serious. Your citizens are everywhere. How big America is. America is almost a continent. You have time zones within America. And this is a man who's supposed to be manning that. Can he fly from Alaska to Washington, from Washington to Hawaii? Can he do that? Jesus, if he barely can walk in a banquet, how can he do these things? How can he meet business communities? How can he have, if Buhari at the age of 70 something, that we all saying he's old, then this guy, I don't know what we will say. Was Buhari compelled to appoint this guy? And to think of it, isn't there a time that someone gives you something you actually say, in my honor, I wouldn't want to do this because, age is not on my side. Why would you have to do this? Why do we have to do this? I think that guy was recommended by the Imo State Governor, Rocha Sokorocha. And so what? There are brilliant Igbo men, women that can do the job. In their late 40s, in their early 50s, very agile, they can do 9, 10, 11, 12 hours meeting every single day, work on Saturdays, attend to, state activities on Sundays, keep going. If we have to get serious as a country, these things have to change. Honestly, it breaks my heart because my late dad, Jonathan Ezoke, died at the age of 85. This guy is as old as my dad. Yes, he's blessed. He's not yet dead. He can barely walk. But fine, let him rest. How can he equally know what is even happening at that age? He's so frail. He's so fragile. How can he know at that age what is happening? This is unbelievable. Honestly, if after watching this clip, the clip running below, or after looking at his clip, you didn't get angry, or you didn't think that Nigeria is not we're not getting it right. We're not getting it right. It's just a symptom of what is happening, to our government. We have ministers, been there 3.5 years. Virtually, appears to be, tell me, one single minister that that is performing under this government. We had, when Ibe Kachukwu came in, Ibe Kachukwu were just basically, telling Nigerians, we're going to have this PMS, we'll have this, many of us, myself included, actually thought for once we have someone who is clued on, who understands the sector, who does, the things the right way ought to be done. But what suddenly happened? Ibe Kachukwu was removed as a GMD of NNPC. And what happened? Now he doesn't even appear to understand anything that is happening there. He's the same man that said, if by 2019 Nigeria does not stop importing petrol, that he was going to resign. And one time I called for Ibe Kachukwu to resign. People started saying, yeah, why should I call for his resignation? Is that the only person there? See, that is the thing. When we keep supporting incompetence, when the things those in authority say matters not, these are things that are supposed to be matter. These are matters that should concern us. They should matter to us. Not when they say something and they don't do it and everybody keeps quiet. Sometimes God has blessed me. I'm well off. But sometimes I kind of get angry that those you kind of tend to fight to make their life better will be the first people to attack you when you want to talk about their liberation. Why can't we liberate ourselves? Why do we, in a country that has how many ministers? 30-something ministers. Honestly, I fail to see any of these ministers performing. Who? Is it the one called Amechi that is lying up and down? Who amongst them is performing? Who? The other time they said second Niger bridge is 40% done. Igbos are not happy. Igbos are not appreciative and blah, blah. I went to the site. Actually, I am the one who actually exposed the lies, because before we saw pictures flying around until I went to the site and I asked myself, how could it be that we had pictures from These Day newspaper, from the cable, pictures that had bridge, something already on top of those pillars. And I went there. Each side of the divide, we only had 6 pillars. And I started questioning, why do we have people in Onitsha? Nobody actually goes there to actually bring in a report that things are not happening here. It is unbelievable what is happening. And I think everybody has to get angry. It is time we call our leaders out and we say things that are not right. I do not care. We have to, because this madness is happening. I mean, look at nations are leaving us behind. I looked at a Ghanaian minister the other day outlining the things, the activities they are doing to attract investors, and you listen to what he's saying, you think, Jesus Christ, Nigeria has gone maybe 200 years backwards. Listen to Paul Kagame of Rwanda. The way the guy talks, the activities that he has lined up, the things he's doing, the achievements he has, and you think, how did we get here we are? How did we get where we are? Why won't we? If we keep bringing in people who are incompetent, people who are old, people who are bereft of ideas, people who do not know how to think. In this time and age, Nigeria is supposed to be leading the African nation in everything we do. Look at the last election. We have an election, or rather we had an election, that a lot of people died. People died in that election. In Rivers, some of the cities where we had violence. Even if it's one person, we did not need to lose a life because we are conducting an election in this modern time. It is outrageous. It is unacceptable. How come the giant, quote unquote, giants, when I hear such words, it racks my brain. We cannot conduct election electronically in this day and age. People argue, whoa, how many countries does it in Europe? And for Christ's sake, do we have to wait for them to do it before we can? Can't we pioneer something? Do we have to only be leading in crime and things that, social ills? Let us be the first nation that would conduct the election electronically and transmit that within 6 hours of completing election result, a winner announced. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. In the last 4 years, it appears nothing is happening. Why would anything happen when we have these men like the old man I just showed before? 84 years old, running the most busiest high commission in the world that Nigeria has a relationship to. 84 years old. A lot of things is going wrong. That's why, the mentality is sickening. 4 years. A government that promised change. 4 years. A government that has in its manifesto that the first thing that they will do is to look into the exclusive list that has 68 items. In the exclusive list, begin to look into it, start a process of restructuring. Suddenly, ask them about restructuring. The same government will tell you, oh, those seeking for restructuring are not genuine. Why did you promise it if you know you will deny it? Now we're getting to the next level. I beg you, make una stop. Make una stop. The level one they go, so if you don't tire me. I won't drop. I won't drop at the verse. Make una have a wonderful day. See, at the verse, the level. I never finish the one I start on. They go next level. Please stop me here. I don't want to come out. Thank you.